All right. Looks like we are live. I'm really stoked to be kicking this off. What I plan on doing here is going to be the weekly find. So basically what we'll do is we'll scour the internet looking for laptop deals for creative professionals. This week specifically, we're talking about video editing and 3D modeling. So these are laptops that are going to have dedicated GPUs. They're going to have high-end H-series processors. We have to have laptops that not only are capable of rendering, but also multitasking. So let's say you're a video editor and you want to be listening to music, you want to be rendering a video, and you want to be creating a thumbnail all at the same time. That's the type of thing you need to be doing with a laptop. So we're looking for an H-series processor with at least 16 gigs of RAM, and we want to have a dedicated GPU with what I would say at minimum 4 gigs, but comfortably 6 gigs of VRAM. And then you move up towards those more high-end processors. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Here to answer your questions, so show you guys some deals that are happening right now. One thing that I have found recently is that the latest 12 series and Ryzen 6000 aren't really readily available as we would hope that they would be. But as we are moving into this year, we're finding more and more of them. But that doesn't mean that last year's model isn't a great pick. For instance, one that really stands out to me is going to be the Ryzen 7 5800H inside of the Legion 5 Pro. This is a killer laptop. You get 32 gigs of RAM and an RTX 3060 for around $1,500. I mean, it's just unreal, that type of performance at that price point. I remember when I got into my YouTube channel early 2017, I got a Dell XPS 15 with, I think it was like an i7, maybe a 7 series CPU. It had 4 cores, 8 threads. It had a dedicated GPU of a GTX 1050. It wasn't even the 1050 Ti, and I spent well over $1,500 on that laptop. And then I upgraded it to 32 gigs of RAM. And as you guys hopefully all know, that was not the best performing laptop for video editing. It was just underpowered, and that was well over $1,500. And so when I look at this laptop here, the Legion 5 Pro at $1,500 with 100% sRGB, a killer dedicated GPU, 32 gigs of RAM, and one of the best performing laptops of last year. I'm just blown away at the potential of what we have right now. Gabriel, what do I think about the Zephyrus M16 and Zephyrus G14? I think they're fantastic. Really curious about your use case. What would you be using it for? I'd love to know how you're using that, maybe make some recommendations based on that. And, now, a couple other ones that we'll be looking at here before we move into more and more questions. Let me pop back over here. The Strix is a great laptop. This is actually last year's SKU, but that's a fantastic deal as well. And all these will be linked up in the description below if you guys are curious about more laptops that I'm recommending right now that are actually available. The G14, one that Gabriel was just mentioning, is fantastic and at a great price point. And then one that's recently back on the market with the 12th gen CPU, my favorite laptop from last year. We're looking at the StudioBook 16 from Asus. This is a killer laptop. I love that dial. Can't wait to review this again this year. So looking forward to y'all's thoughts. All right, Gabriel, let's jump into your questions here. What is the battery life on the M16? Okay, you're asking Arcane. The battery life that I got was pretty good. It wasn't as good as the G14. I think I saw around 10 hours of battery life for productivity, and then around the 5-hour range for video editing and Photoshop. VivoBook Pro 16X. Why is there no comparison? Is it bad? Sometimes brands just can't get us all the laptops we want, nor do I have the purchasing power to just go out and buy whatever laptop I want. I'm not sure what the SKU is for that off the top of my head. Let's see here. VivoBook Pro 16X. VivoBook Pro 16X. Let's see what we have here. Here's Asus website. This is the 11th gen though. Where's the 12th gen? Let's see. So it looks like we have pretty standard Intel 12th gen. I think the problem I saw with this one, and it really depends on what you're doing, but this i7-113-700H is pretty good. It's not great. but it's pretty good. But the RTX 3050 is, again, pretty good, but not great. And so really it depends on the price point of this laptop and what you can get it for, because in comparison, there might be some other laptops that are better priced. So let's go check this out real quick. Let's see how much this laptop's running for right now, if you can even buy it. Okay, so currently it's on the Asus store, or not the Asus store, the Adorama. Okay, here's the $1,500 one with the Intel. So this is around $1,500, and it's got pretty good performance, but it's not great, especially when you put it up next to the G14. And put it up next to the G14, this thing would get its pants kicked. And for the G14, you only got another $100. And so that would be kind of my recommendation, but I don't really know what you're using it for, Rakesh. So if you could let me know your use case, Rakesh, I would love to hear about that, and then I can answer your question more accurately. All right, I'm going to scroll back up here, try and get through the questions. I know they're going to flood in really fast, so I'll try and stay on top of it. Hey, Ben, I need an absolute killer laptop for 3D animation. I'll be using Blender a lot. I'm considering the M16 3070 Ti. Can you recommend me a laptop? Okay, so for Blender, that laptop actually performed pretty well. Let me go ahead and look up my most recent Blender laptop results here, and I can see what we got going on. The M16 performed at a 713, right around the same as the G15 with an RTX 3080, and then just a little bit below the Acer Predator Triton 500 SE, which had an i9-12900H and an RTX 3080 Ti. So honestly, that is a great pick for Blender, especially if you're going to be using Blender a lot. I would really recommend that. Another thing you could look at is the Legion 5 from last year, the Legion 5 Pro from last year. That had a killer score in Blender. So if you want maybe a Legion option from Lenovo, that could be a good option as well. But yeah, you've got a great pick on your hands there. It's been one of the best that I've tested so far. So I definitely think that's a worthy one to consider. Jump back over here. Okay, so looking through here, the XPS lineup is more so for the aesthetic as well, though. Yeah, that's so true, Carrie. I was really new to laptops, which is why I started this channel. I got kind of hoodwinked by getting that Dell XPS, thought it was like amazing, and it was great in regards to the aesthetics, the quality. I mean, I still have it to this day. I don't use it anymore, but it's still in working condition. It just didn't have the performance I wanted. What do you think about Lenovo IdeaPad laptops? I think Lenovo IdeaPad laptops are good. Lenovo and Asus are kind of interesting how they create a lot of different categories for their laptops, but really when it comes down to, if you look at them spec for spec, there's a lot of Lenovo IdeaPads that match up with like a lot of the Legion 5 base models. So for instance, maybe in a Lenovo IdeaPad gaming, we'll have like a Ryzen 7 5800H and an RTX 3060 or RTX 3050 Ti, same as maybe a Legion 5 would have. So they just kind of brand them in different ways, create different looks. So what I do is I really try and focus on the specs that'll work for a device and then kind of deduct what you want as far as features and aesthetics are concerned. Apple 2021 iMac versus HP Envy all-in-one for graphic design and color accuracy. That all-in-one 34 is really sweet. Do you like Mac OS or do you like Windows? I really think that's what that decision will come down to, because they're both about the same price point. If I'm correct, I reviewed the HP Envy all-in-one 34. I thought it was a great computer. I say laptop so much because I review laptops. I thought it was a great computer. I didn't love the performance if you're doing anything above graphic design. Its video editing performance and 3D modeling and After Effects performance didn't blow me away. But then again, maybe the 2021 iMac really wouldn't blow me away either. I've yet to actually test that one. But do you like Mac or do you like Windows, Robbie? That's really the big question. Do you recommend the Asus Zenbook 15 Pro? I don't know. Maybe I do. Let's check it out. A Zenbook 15 Pro. Asus Zenbook 15 Pro. Here it is. Let's go ahead and pull that up here on the screen. Flip it over. Yes, I will accept all cookies. Take all my information, please. Let's see here. 4K display. Got good color accuracy, color gamut range. If I'm reading this correctly, you have the i7. Oh, this isn't. See, that's what drives me crazy about some of these. They have like really old listings. See, I need to find like a newer listing. Here we go. This should do it. So is this a spec you were looking for? Something like this. So this has the Ryzen 9 5900HX and the RTX 3050 Ti. What would you be using this for? Is really the question I have. Let's see where that comment was. Zenbook. So FOC, what would you be using this laptop for? I'm super curious because that'll help me know, if it'd be a good pick for you. Okay, so many comments. You guys are. I'll hang in there. I'm gonna get through all this as best I can. But there's so much going on. You guys are awesome for being on. All right, so it looks like why is there no comparison? Okay, Legion 5, Legion 7, Gen 7, Legion 7. A lot of these. If you guys comment, just comment once. I will see it. I just got to scroll through, and by commenting more than once, it just totally throws off the lineup. I'm torn between, okay, so Gabriel, you had the first question, so I'll honor that. I'm torn between two laptops, the G14 and the M16, Ryzen 7 6800H and i7-12700. What would you prefer? A better CPU but less battery life? I'm entering high school, and I don't know what to choose. Yeah. I never really need battery life when I'm working because I'm always in the studio, right? But if I do, I usually have like a thin and light laptop like this Yoga 9i. So I think that's one of the areas that I am difficult making recommendations because for me, battery life doesn't matter. But if you're a high school student and you're taking your laptop to school with you, then battery would be important. But I don't know if that's something you do. I don't know if you use maybe your laptop or if you would, get a laptop for school that the school provides to you. For me, I would personally choose the i7-12700H for video editing. I've seen them perform very well, especially compared to the Ryzen 7 6800H currently. I'm more impressed with Intel at this moment. Things could change very quickly, as they always do. A few of my local tech stores are selling VivoBooks with 12th gen and Ryzen 6000 series. Those are good laptops for sure. What Asus Zephyrus lineup is best for graphic designers like Illustrator and Photoshop? Okay, so I would say if you want a 16-inch screen, go for the M16. If you want the 14-inch screen, go for the G14. Those will be great for graphic design. They got 100% sRGB. And so if you want like a graphic design / like gaming laptop, those two would be great picks because it gives you that 16:10 aspect ratio on both the 14 and the 16. Do note that 14 does feel small when you're working on it. I would presume when you're gaming, like size is only so important. I mean, like you could get like really close to your computer when you're gaming to like see people, but when you're designing, I like a little bit bigger screen. So honestly, I wouldn't want to just do straight graphic design on a 14-inch screen personally. And so I would go for the M16. Ben, what is the best gaming and studying laptop? I'm not a gamer, so unfortunately I cannot answer that question at all. I have not gamed since Xbox Modern Warfare 1, well over 15 years ago. VivoBook Pro have big cooling system upgrade. I think so. I haven't looked at that one yet, so unfortunately I don't know. All right. Hey, man, how is the Asus TUF A15 with the Ryzen 7 4800H and RTX 3050, $900? I need it for video effects, 3D, and video editing stuff. Okay, so this is the Aniro. Aniro, I'm not sure where you're located, but to me, that's a 3 iteration old CPU. $950 actually seems a little bit overpriced, unless you're somewhere where that's like all you can get because they don't have newer CPUs. So definitely comment below where you're located, Aniro. And I'd love to kind of guide you a little bit in the right direction. Let me jump back over here. All right. HP Omen 16 12th gen, great laptop for 3D modeling, for video editing. As you ask a question about a laptop, definitely put your use case because otherwise I'm just going to like not know. You could say, hey, well, how's this laptop? And I have no idea what you're using it for, so I have no idea how to make a recommendation. So definitely put your use case when you ask your question about the laptop. That'll speed up the process for you getting an answer. Definitely want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just start answering questions of people who include their use case just to speed up the process. All right, Zephyrus. Okay, already answered that. School and gaming. Apple 2021. Okay, Apple, Francisco. Apple 2020 M1 basic model versus Swift X R5 5600. I would go for the M1. But again, I don't know your use case, so it's really hard for me to recommend. If you're a graphic designer, the M1 is going to be plenty, and I just prefer that laptop over the Acer Swift 3, just from like a quality standpoint. And do note that it is more expensive, obviously, a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, but from a graphic design and photography standpoint, it's totally enough. All right, Rakesh. My use case is SolidWorks and some video editing and photo editing. The laptop I was asking about was the Ryzen 9 5900HX VivoBook model. What would be your opinion? Okay, so here's the thing. The 3050 Ti in SolidWorks does not perform well. It's actually kind of disappointing because SolidWorks is a really heavy workstation-focused product. It really wants to see laptops with workstation GPUs or 3060s and 3070s on the RTX lineup is really what it prefers. So honestly, I would not fully recommend that laptop just based on the fact that it will slightly underperform in comparison to other laptops. So but the question is, kind of what's your budget? Can you afford something that has a workstation GPU like an A1000, A2000 GPU or 3000 or 5000? Those laptops get really expensive. So what's your budget range? And maybe we can find something for you that fits into that a little bit better. And again, I'm linking up in the description below some current models that are available that I do recommend for video editing and 3D modeling. SolidWorks is kind of a unique use case. I just did a full video on my SolidWorks recommendations, so you could check that out if you want. But we're right here right now answering questions. All right, let's see here. Let's go back up a little bit. Try not to miss anybody's comments. Okay, the Ninro, you're from India. Okay, so that makes sense. Why maybe you can't get the specific laptop with an older processor. So let's see if I could search Amazon India. This might be helpful. All right. Let's see. So what I'm looking for, so $950 roughly. Let's see. We want to get the Legion 5. All right. Okay. So I see a lot of 4600. Okay. Here's a 5600. Man, you guys definitely seems like you're getting laptops later than we are, which is really frustrating. I'm so sorry to see this. Okay. I'm not sure how much this is and what your budget is, but this could be a great pick. We got a Legion 5 with a Ryzen 7 5800 and an RTX 3060. Would that be in your budget, the Aniro? That might be a great pick for you. So check that out on the screen right now. And I'm going to keep moving forward, but you just check that out, and I'm going to keep answering questions. Hey, I'm an architecture student. This is Asif Hawk. I'm an architecture student looking for a laptop for around $1,300. Okay, so for architecture, you're probably using something like Revit or SolidWorks. And so I would recommend something like is actually on the screen right now. However, this is the India website. So for the US, you'd be looking at something like this. This would honestly be a great pick because it'll perform well in a lot of the major 3D modeling software. So Asif Hawk, this is what I recommend. It's around the $1,500 price point. So if you can't get in this much, let's go kind of down a little bit and see if we can get you something a little cheaper. This would be great as well. The RTX 2060 is a little bit older of a GPU, but it still has great performance. I hesitate recommending the RTX 3050 Ti. It's just a little underpowered for 3D modeling. So let me see if I can dig up. Let's look up the HP Victus RTX 3060. I'm going to see if I can get you around that $1,300 price point. Okay, this would be great right here. So if you can see my screen, this would be a great find for Asif Hawk. I wonder if you seeing that. comment if you're seeing that. That would be a really good one. Your max. Okay, cool. Got it. So check that out. And then it seems like the Nero, his budget is 8,500 rupees. Okay. So looks like we got Intel 10th gen and a RTX 3050. So I'm looking like around here. So you got the 10th gen. Man, this is, I don't do a lot of international shopping, but after I start looking at these numbers and stuff, I start to feel you guys' pain, because you guys get stuff way later than we do. And then also it's, quite a bit more expensive. Let's see if we can see if we got like a Victus over there for you guys. HP Victus 3060. Oh my word, come on. RTX 30. Okay. RTX 3060. Okay. All right. See, so these are over your price points. That Nitro 5 could be good. See, this could be good. It's got that 3050. I already forgot your use case, though. I feel so bad how much I'm back and forth on this. Let me check your first comment. Video editing. Okay, so you could honestly get away with the Victus with the Ryzen 7 5800H and the RTX 3050. It may be a little underpowered for the visual effects. I don't know what software you're using. What software would you be using for all your visual effects? List out your software for me, the Nero, and just let me know, and then maybe we can kind of hone on this a little farther. I'm going to keep trying to answer more questions here. All right, I'm going to scroll up a little bit, try and jump on this. All right, so the Moon, after go through many of your videos, I wanted to get the Legion 5i Pro, but couldn't get it in Malaysia, so I bought a Legion 5 Pro, mostly using PRs. Okay, cool. That was a good choice, yeah. The Moon Chong, that was a great choice. For architecture, so John Kell says, for architecture, Revit, and rendering, Lumen, Asus ProArt StudioBook 16, Ryzen 9 5900HX, and RTX 3060. Yeah, that could be a great pick. Again, Revit's one of those programs that is workstation focused. So I'm not sure what your budget is, but that would be a really solid bet for Revit. I think you'll get good results with that. But if you can, I don't know if you have a bigger budget, but if you can, they also have a model. Let me pull it up here. Let me go back. They have a model that has the A3000 or A5000. But obviously, it's way more expensive. So you can see that's about a $5,000 price tag. That would definitely be amazing for Revit. But again, it's substantially more expensive, so it might not be a good fit for you. But just keep that in mind. Okay, moving forward here. Why my Victus lags at startup is normal. So wherever my yes, gets tech really late. Stuff. All right. So Felix, I'm using AutoCAD, SketchUp, Revit for 2D and 3D modeling. What would be the best for a mid-range budget? What is a mid-range budget for you, Felix? Numbers and apps are super important when making recommendations and use cases. So you got most of it there, but I don't know what mid-range budget is for you. That is a very loose term for people, just because mid-range could be $3,000 for somebody. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. So definitely comment, Felix, what your mid-range budget is. Do you have any ideas on when huge sales are coming up? Where are you located? Best Buy's running a sale right now, but that's just in the US. So let me know your location. Acer Swift X or HP MB14 for editing, digital marketing, and 3D modeling stuff. For the price point, I think the Acer Swift X, let me check. Acer, get out of here. Let's check Acer Swift X. Acer Swift X right now is in the $1,000 price point. Yeah, it's a good laptop. It's a really good laptop. 3D modeling just makes me a little nervous. What kind of 3D modeling are you planning on doing? That would be very helpful, Vivek Mishra. My Asus Zephyrus G14 arrives today. Canadian. Okay, compared to US. Thank you for your videos. Help me so much. It will be SolidWorks Premiere Pro. And oh man, Ron Stewart. That is going to be a fantastic SolidWorks laptop. I don't know if you saw my review, but that laptop crushes it in SolidWorks, and you got the 6800S. Man, you're going to be killing it. So I'm so glad the video was helpful, Ron. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's amazing. You're so kind. You rock. Glad my videos were so helpful, and just your gratuity here is just, it's overwhelming. Thank you so much, and I'm glad that you got that one. That's gonna be a great pick. All right, moving down the line here. Do you have any idea when there will be huge sale in America? Yeah, huge sale in America. BestBuy.com right now. I'm actually filming my video, running some advertisements for that sale. If you go on over to the website, they have a back to school sale, and you can get some deals there. I want to learn more how to video edit it in Premiere Pro. My budget is around $1,500. What should I buy? $1,500 is a great budget. I would look at even last year's G14, say a Ryzen 9 5900 HS, and the RTX 3060. You can get that run for around $1,300 on Best Buy. Also check out, I showed some people earlier this laptop. Let's do the Legion 5. RTX 3060. Legion 5s are killer. Oh, let me pull up my screen. Sorry, I get mixed up back and forth. So this right here, oh, no, right here. So this would be a fantastic buy for the sortilege. I think that's how you say it. So that would be whatever, around $1,200. Yeah, the sortilege, the G14 is awesome, but like I said, you can get the G14 from last year for about $1,300. That could save you some money. Maybe you get a little RAM stick and upgrade it, or a mouse, or an extra screen for video editing, whatever it might be. Am I planning to review the Legion 5, 5i Pro, all that? Yeah, I reviewed the Legion 5i already, Gen 7, so that's up on my channel, and I'm hopefully going to get in the other ones when I can. Brands, send me stuff after all the big boys get them, so it just kind of just depends on when the big boys finish them, and then I get them. So it's how it rolls around here. Can it handle the Asus ProArt StudioBook RTX 3060? Can it handle medium and light 3D rendering and modeling? Love your content. Yeah, Nikusha, the ProArt is a fantastic buy for 3D modeling, especially if you're just doing medium to light, nothing crazy heavy. That'll be really good. How do you think liquid metal laptops will hold out in terms of maintenance and so on for more than 5 years? I pride myself on being a little less technical, really trying to bring things down to 4,000 feet rather than like 30,000 feet view for creators. So I don't have a lot of opinions on things of that nature. So unfortunately, I don't know how the liquid metal thing will play out. And Nero. And Nero says, basically, it's going to be my first laptop, and I'm just trying to get starting out in the field. Cool. Yeah, I think you'll be good with the Ryzen 7 5800H and RTX 3050 to get you started. Once you maybe make a little more money, then you can maybe work up into a bigger laptop, but that'll be really good getting started. That handles 4K super well, and if your budget's around that 85,000 rupee, I would definitely recommend that setup. All right, how is the NVIDIA RTX A2000 for Revit? It's good. It's I think that's a 8 gig A2000. Yeah, I think. Oh no, it's actually a 12 gig. Is that laptop GPU? That's a 12 gig card. So yeah, that. Wait, that's not for laptop. Where's the laptop card? I think it's a 12 gig card for laptops, if I'm not mistaken. So that would be a good pick. It comes in the. Okay, I know where I got. Okay, the ThinkPad P1 Gen 5. That's where I saw this thing last. Okay, let's check this out real quick. So I want to say it's around this price point. Let's share my screen. Okay, so see more. Okay, so the A2000, as you can see here, is a 8 gig VRAM card, and you said you wanted to use that for Revit. That should be solid, man. That'll be really good. It may not kick as much performance in, say, video editing as an equal comparison gaming GPU. So say something like the RTX 3070 Ti, but it will still do very well in Revit for sure and SolidWorks. But it just doesn't translate over to video. Workstation cards for some reason don't translate as well over to video editing. Then gaming cards translate over to, 3D modeling in certain respects. All right, can you tell the difference between the 5i and 5i Pro, same specs? Not really, no. I wouldn't be able to, and what I mean by that is like the general use of it. There may be some features like different port selection, but I just really think, like, for me, I use things very, very work-based, so I don't focus so much on a lot of the little nuances when I am using a product. It's how the cookie crumbles for me personally. If something works, if it's got the performance I need, I'm going to use it, and I'm just going to kind of work around any of the annoyances of the differences. And so if it can save you a few $100s, you're not going to notice a huge difference if it's the same spec out. All right, I'm a mechanical engineer. Shari Ahmad. Okay, going down the list here. All right, so sorry, I'm trying to find where I was. Iniro, I'm sorry I missed your comments, and I can't. It's just there's so much. So just comment it once more, please, and then I should be able to see which comment you're referring to. So just kind of list out what you're doing, and then we can jump back into your question. So Sika, my budget is around 1,500 euros. Which laptop would you recommend? My main use would be general task, browsing, video, listening to music, multitasking, light video editing, and photo editing. So if you want a thin and light laptop and your budget is around the $1,500 range, one of my favorite laptops right now would be just like the MacBook Pro and with the M2. That's a fantastic laptop for multitasking, light video editing, photo editing. But then if you want to go more of a Windows laptop, let me jump over here. Let's do the Lenovo Legion 9i Gen 7. Oh, no. What am I talking about? Not the Legion. The Yoga. Got so many names in my head right now. So this is a great 2-in-1 laptop, 14-inch screen. It's going to have great battery life. It's really snappy with the latest i7 1260p. And then you can also get like a Samsung Galaxy Book 2 Pro 360. That's a great laptop as well for just kind of the general task. And this will keep you around the $1,500 price point. If you're trying to get well below $1,500, maybe like the $1,200, you can get the MacBook Air with the M2 processor. That's going to be good. And then you can also get like the Zenbook. So let's see, like the Zenbook S13 OLED. That should put you in the, if you can get one. Let's see here. So this would be a really good buy if you can find one of these. This will be less than that $1,500 price point, and it's going to be great for multitasking with the latest Ryzen 7 6800U. All right, jump back over. Rohan, please tell me for a laptop, Adobe After Effects, Premiere Pro work, less 3D work, and I want to be at least 2 monitors connected. Budget's around $1,700. Legion series, which would be the Legion 5i or 5 Pro, or the Asus Zephyrus M16. Asus Zephyrus M16 on sale right now at Best Buy. Definitely check that out. But yeah, I would go Legion or Zephyrus series. Or those are kind of my 2 like top contenders in my head right now. For programming and maybe some light gaming, the MSI Summit E16. Yeah, the MSI Summit E16 is good for programming, and I think that has a dedicated GPU if I'm not mistaken. So that could be a good buy. Yeah, the RTX 3050. Yeah, that could be pretty good. That processor, I think it has the 1195 G7. That's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like super, super high performance, but since you're doing programming and some gaming, I think you'll be fine. Just know that that processor is not the best gaming processor because it is a mobile ultra low power rather than like a high performance H series processor. So just keep that in mind. Something for a similar price point. This laptop's around the $2,000 price point. I mean, shoot, you could get, I think like thin and light. You could get an M16. You could pick up a Legion 7 Slim. I check out the Legion 7 Slim, honestly. Who commented this again? Rowan? No, it wasn't Rowan. Oh, it was Sancha X. I would check out the Legion 7 Slim. They have that. Let's see. I think they have it. Legion 7 Slim. Fade over. Best Buy. Okay, Best Buy still has it here. Here we go. This is a killer laptop for around $1,400. So it's less money than what you were looking at. I don't know if this is available in your country, but this is killer. So definitely consider something like this, Sancha, if you want to get a laptop for programming and gaming. Rifki, for Blender, Maya, After Effects, is Legion 7 Slim 7i 7 12th Gen 3060 enough? Or should I go for the 3070? My budget's around $3K. If you have a $3K budget and you can find the Slim with a 3070 under $3,000, I think it would be awesome, especially for Blender and Maya and After Effects. That 3070 is going to be helpful in Blender. I was seeing Blender results. That 3070 is going to be a benefit to you. And if it doesn't blow away your price point away, then I would recommend the 3070. Is performance similar between i5 or between 5i and 5i Pro when they are equipped with the same specs? I think I answered that question earlier. And yeah, my basic answer is yes. Okay, so FOC, I need the following specs or above for college dedicated GPU with at least 4 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigs of RAM, 16-inch screen. Would you recommend that have this specs? I will use it for CAD design. I would be above. Everything looks good. I would just be above 4 gigs of VRAM. These CAD softwares are heavy softwares. And so if you can get above it, I would check out the Victus, the HP Victus. You can get, I think I looked that one up earlier, or the Lenovo Legion 5, because you can get, well, you want Intel 12th Gen. Did you say Intel 12th Gen? No, you didn't. Okay. Yeah, so I would check out the Legion 5 with a Ryzen 7 5800H and an RTX 3060, or the HP Victus of a similar spec out. That would be my recommendation for FOC. Interesting name. All right, I'm buying a laptop from the Philippines, which will be much cheaper to buy in Canada or America. Most likely America. Canadian prices tend to be a little bit higher. I don't know the exchange rate for you, but usually America is a little bit on the more affordable side, and we tend to have more sales, if I'm not mistaken. Camera Chronicles for photo 4K video editing. Should I get the M1 Air with 16 gigs of RAM or the Zephyrus G14 2021 model? I'm a filmmaker and wedding photographer. How is the 100% sRGB screen on the HP Victus? Okay, a lot of questions there. Do you use Premiere Pro, Camera Chronicles, or are you using Final Cut? If you're using Final Cut, you'll be totally fine with the Air. If you're using Premiere Pro, I would not do the Air. I would do the Ryzen with the Asus Zephyrus G14. 100% sRGB on the HP Victus. You have to get the 120 hertz panel. Warning, you have to get the 120 hertz panel on the HP Victus if you want 100% sRGB. If you get the 60 hertz panel, it will be a 64% sRGB. So just keep that in mind. All right, more questions coming. You guys are awesome, man. I got so many questions today. I'm going to answer as many as I can here. All right, so let me scroll up. Okay, is the Ryzen 7 4800H bad? No, it's not bad. It's just older. So just the 5800 had a slightly better performance than the 4800. Again, you're going to get about a 15 to 20% bump in performance every generation that happens. So to me, it's just like we're now at Ryzen 6000. You know, Ryzen 4000 wasn't bad. It was great when it came out, but it's just not going to be as great as the latest. So you just have to kind of realize that. But if you can get a Ryzen 7 4800H with an RTX 3060, that could be a nice match. All right. Okay, so Nikusha, A2000 versus RTX 3060. Thanks for previous answer, Nikusha. What was your light rendering and 3D modeling? So the A2000, Nikusha, is going to be really good for like SolidWorks and Revit those workstation-focused softwares, they are optimized. NVIDIA works with SolidWorks, works with Revit to make their product, their hardware work well with the software. So you're going to get the biggest benefit from those workstation-certified softwares with a workstation-certified GPU. However, as soon as you get outside of that workstation-certified realm, and you get just into like Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve, you don't get any of that benefit. And actually, sometimes I see it to where the GeForce gaming GPUs, like the RTX 3060, actually perform slightly better. So if you're a big workstation certified program user, then the Quadro workstation GPUs like the A2000 are a really good pick. All right. Glad it's helping Deleg Tog. I'm just trying to answer questions here. My full reviews are where you're going to get really good deep dives. This is where I'm just trying to like answer questions and bring you guys like a ton of value. Hoping to do this on a weekly basis. Fingers crossed, no guarantees, but I'm enjoying it. I love talking with you guys. Yesterday, I purchased the i5-11300H RTX 3050 HP Pavilion for $900. Did I make the right decision? Yeah, that's a great buy. That 3050 is solid, especially for around $900. You did good. If you're using that for video editing, it'll be nice. Can you help me recommend a thin laptop for school and work around $1,800? Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Let me pull up this laptop here. Yes, got it. All right, so this is what I would recommend. This is the Lenovo Legion 7 Slim or Slim 7. One of my favorite laptops of last year. It's thin, it's light, it works great for gaming, and it's under $1,800 Canadian, most likely, with the exchange rate. Yeah, you can absolutely post a link. I don't know if it will post or what'll happen, the Nero, but I'd be happy to check out what you're looking at. Ravi, 14-inch MacBook Pro M1 Pro versus 2022 MacBook Air M2 for graphic design, color accuracy, not video editing. Oh, goodness. I would save the money and go for the MacBook Air M2. Yeah, that's what I would do. Because that 14 Pro, let's check the pricing differences between that. So let's go MacBook Air M2 versus, let's see here. So we can get, and as far as these laptops are concerned, I would get this one with 500 gigs, not 256. You will be in a heap of annoyance. If you end up with the 256, you're going to run out of storage. You're going to bottleneck hardcore. Okay, so here we go. $1,700. Let's get the one I would buy, which would be the 512 versus $1,400. So, I mean, you could save about $300 going with the M2. But, right now it's on sale at Best Buy, so it's up to you. However, what I do like about this MacBook Pro is the 16 gigs of RAM. So that would be a really nice pick with the 16 gigs of RAM over the 8 gigs of RAM in the M2. The M2, I think it'll be a little bump in performance, but I think we might actually see more benefit out of the RAM than you will out of just the straight M2 bump. So that's my thought process there. All right. Let's see. I know this isn't really a gaming live stream, but would you take a 2022 G15, 2022 G14, or do you have another recommendation for school and some gaming and video editing? I would pick the G14 between those two, but I would compare it to the M16. So I would go G14 or M16, and I would do that based on screen size. That would be my biggest recommendation. The G15 is like this weird happy medium that just isn't really happy in my opinion. So I would go M16 or G14 based on the screen size that you want, not based on the spec differences, personally. Okay, do you think the G15, 2022 G15 is worth it in 2021? I'm considering both 2021 is on sale in the US. They have a 3070 and 3070 Ti. Let me see. Asus G15 Fade. I'm on Best Buy right now, in case you're wondering. So we have the 3060 with a Ryzen 9, and we have the 3080, 3070. That's a great price on that one. About $1,400. This one's super high performance. That's a beast. 3060, 3070. Okay, here it is. It says unavailable nearby me, but that would be a steal. If you can get that for around $1,500, heck yeah, I would totally go for that. Who commented that? Jacob, heck yeah, that'd be a great sale. Because yeah, this year, like 6900S HS versus 5900 HS was not the big jump in performance. The reason the G14 jumped in performance so much was because of the RX 6700S they put in it. It wasn't really the Ryzen CPU. The Ryzen CPU just didn't get that much better between 5000 and 6000 series. Ben, I need to get back to sitting at a desk for posture purposes. My iMac crashed a few years ago and haven't found an AIO I like. Which desktop tower for 4K video editing? Less than $2,000. I love building PCs. So, I mean, what do you need? Video editing? I'm still using a Ryzen 9 3900HX and an RTX 3050, and I edit 6K BRAW, and it does totally fine. I recently also got an upgrade to an i7 12700 with an RTX 3050, and that build was around $1,700. So I mean, anything around there will be good. If I were you, the 3050 is good. If you can find a 3060 card, if you can find a 3060 card under, like $1,000 or something. These things have gotten so stinking expensive. Okay, Newegg 3060. Okay, they're coming down quite a lot. I don't like that though. I'd rather look at the. Here we go. This would be a good card. So we can open this up. Okay, so yeah. Ooh, Dolly, that's great. Okay, so you can find this card right here for $469. So I would go for this card. I would go for either Ryzen 5000 or Intel 12th gen, and you could pick up an i7 12700K. That would be a good one. And then just 32 gigs of RAM, two drives, one boot drive, one storage drive, and you would be good. That would be my recommendation. And I'd build it because I like building. I don't know a lot about pre-built PCs. I'm a laptop guy, but I would build personally. You can get a better price, and you know what's in the machine, and you built it, so you know what's broken when it breaks. So that'd be my recommendation. All right, let's fade back over. Some more questions. For rendering in Blender or some other software, is the 3070 Ti better than the 3070 provided they both have the same TGP? That is a great question. Let me look at my Blender results here. 3070 Ti, 3070 Ti. Oh, suck. Oh, so I've benchmarked the 3070. But the problem is it had a Ryzen 9 5900HX, and all the 3070 Ti's I've benchmarked have either had a i7 12800 or the i9 12900. So I don't have an apples-to-apples comparison, unfortunately. But I will say off of my comparison, you're only getting about a 25-point bump in performance based on the Blender test. So no, it's not a big difference. I would not be overly concerned with it. When are you going to review the Legion 5 2022 AMD model? I have been asking and pestering my my Lenovo connection for months about that one. Hopefully soon. I can't even if I wanted to buy one, I couldn't buy one right now. Like on on Best Buy website. So let's go Legion 5 Pro. I think you just asked for the straight Legion 5, but just for kicks, let's say we looked up the Legion 5 Pro. Not even available because I would want to review it with this processor, but I want the 3060. So that's the problem is like I can't get it right now. Otherwise I would review it. So honestly, I'm just waiting for Lenovo to send me one because I can't even find one. Where are you finding them to buy them? Like on Amazon or something? Because I am not seeing them. But I hope to review it soon. I was waiting for the HP Envy series, but they don't seem to be available. And why haven't we seen reviews on them yet? Okay, so an HP Envy, I'm actually getting one in. I'm getting the i7 like 1235 processor, I think it is. It's their newest one. What are you going to be using that for? Mishra. I think your last name is Mishra. Your honest review, thoughts on the GT77 and the creative version. I think that's the MSI GT77. It's a massive computer. Are you talking about the MSI Titan GT77 Gillian? If so, that is massive. And I actually did the unboxing and I haven't benchmarked it yet, but it is a portable desktop, like straight up. Opinion on the Rogue Flow X13. It's a 2-in-1 for 3D modeling. I love that laptop. I want to review it so bad. Last I checked, let's see. Rogue Flow X16. I think there's one on Best Buy right now. Switch over. Yeah. Oh, nope. It's got to be around here somewhere. I had it. Oh, here it is. So here it is right here. I think is this the model you're talking about? So it has the Ryzen 9 6900HS and RTX 3060. Yeah, that's gonna be a goodie. For 3D modeling, yeah, it'll be good. The 6 gigs of VRAM. If that had a 3050 Ti in it, I would not be as excited about it for 3D modeling. But because it has the 3060, I really like that. Do you think that I should increase the RAM from 16 to 32 gigs for my Lenovo 15 Pro? If you're struggling with playback on your Legion, this is Anibal. If you're struggling with playback on your Legion 5 Pro, then yeah, absolutely. That will help a ton. It won't help a lot with export time for video editing, and it won't help a lot with like single focus tasks outside of playback. Photoshop and Premiere Pro video playback in the timeline love RAM. So if that's what you're struggling with, then that would be a yes from me. Dell 7670 with the i9 12900 and RTX 4500. Rick commented that. I have no idea. I'd love to know what your use case is, and I can definitely give you some feedback on that. If you're doing Autodesk 3ds Max, Autodesk Maya, PTC Creo, SolidWorks, Autodesk Revit, then yes, that would be a beast of a setup. Sick, thanks for the recommendations. Actually, it's funny. I've had my eye on a few laptops which you've recommended. Lenovo Yoga, Zenbook S13 OLED. Awesome. Yeah, those are great. Sensha, thanks, bro. Helps a lot. Unfortunately, Zenbook isn't available in my country, Finland, but I'm definitely interested in. Seiko, what is available in your country? Because I think the Yoga series is awesome, especially, okay, here's my recommendation. For, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize, but Seika, I recommend a Ryzen 7 6800U. I recommend the i7 1260p. Those are the two processors I would be looking for, especially at your price point. And then, of course, if you're into Apple, you can check out the, M1. I think the M1 has plenty of power, especially for what you wanted to do. I think you were just doing a little bit of light, like video editing and photo editing. But yeah, let me know. But that would be what I recommend, those two processors. Peanut Butter 256. I did not see your comment, so please let me know what you said. I'm just trying to. I'm trying not to miss stuff, but stuff gets passed by because, like, every once in a while. It'll just like reset and send me to the bottom, so I missed some comments. Laptop for Houdini FX simulations around $5,000. Oh, Andrew, unfortunately, I have no experience with Houdini. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't. Yeah, I thought about the Legion 7 Slim. Sancha says, yeah, good pick. All right, shout out to Ben for doing the live Q&A session, helping us get value. Thank you so much. Glad it is helping. All right, Intel HX chips for graphics and gaming. Ooh, I've yet to test the HX. I have an HX in my studio inside of the GT77 Titan. It just hasn't made it to the testing bench. So hopefully this week I'll be able to do that. I've been really just not behind, but it's a lot of work. It's a surprising amount of work to benchmark laptops. Nero, got it. Sorry, I was pronouncing your name wrong. All right. How's the battery in the Legion 5 Pro series? I'm between the Omen and the Legion. Which one has better battery life? The Legion has better battery life, Riza, just because it has a better control over a lot of the components. So you can turn on like iGPU mode. You can go to panel power saver. You can just do a lot of things that help battery last longer. It's not going to be like exponentially longer battery life. You're maybe only getting an extra hour or so out of it compared to the HP Omen. If you want battery life, if battery life is super important to you, Reza, I would look at the Zephyrus series. Those with the Ryzen 9 6900HS. That processor in the Zephyr series has awesome battery life on iGPU mode. So basically, you turn off the GPU, just run the CPU, and you get great battery life. All right. So again, if you're commenting, asking me laptop recommendations, definitely let me know your use case and your budget if you are wondering how, like, what laptop to get, because budgets help me know kind of where you're at, and your budget, like the actual number, not like mid-range or low range or high budget, like actual number, and that'll help me answer your question well. All right. So, all right, Sika, my local shop, there's a Lenovo Yoga 7 with the Ryzen 7 6800U. Great. That'd be a great pick. OLED screen and AMD 600 graphics, 1400. I wouldn't recommend those Radeon graphics if you're Seika. If you're not doing video editing or a lot of like heavy video editing, I would just go with the 6800U. That's great for 1080p, even 4K, like some light 4K. You'll be totally fine. Diablo, definitely let me know your use case. It's hard for me to answer if it's a good laptop if I don't know what you'll be using it for. Thank you. Nico Lay, hey Ben, my use case is motion design, and I'm a CG student. I will work in After Effects, Cinema 4D, some Blender. My budget is around $3,000. I'm looking for ProArt. Which spec do you like? For $3,000, I would go for this one right here. This is the latest 12th gen processor, and you get an RTX 3070 Ti, is gonna thump. It's gonna be such a dominating laptop. I would buy this laptop over and over and over and over again. It is insane that this laptop is only $2,700 because it's got so many things going for it. It has a color accurate screen. It has the dial. It has, they took away the button clicks. It doesn't have button clicks anymore. So last year's model had these really annoying click buttons, and it's great for 3D modeling programs, right? Like, it's awesome for that. But like these click buttons for like actually using the laptop rather than just clicking straight on the mouse pad was so frustrating to me. Let me pull up last year's model and show you. So that they got rid of those is like a game changer for me. So they don't have it on that one either because that's a new arrival. Let me see if I can find last year's model. They don't have it showing. That's annoying. Anyway, last year's model had the really annoying click buttons on the top. I wish I had one in the office with me, but it's not in here right now. But I would totally go for this. It's like a killer model. All right. How is my audio? I recently got the SM7B, and I'm wondering if it sounds good coming through. Would love to know that. Definitely take a MacBook Pro 14 over the MacBook Air M2 at that price. Yeah, if you got the money, the MacBook Pro 14 is a great buy for that extra RAM. Is a 1080 display on a 3070 overkill? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that question, Stan Animal. If you want to just kind of define that a little more, I'd be happy to help answer that. What do you think about the Asus 16 i7-12 with RTX 3060? Again, if you have a question for a laptop recommendation, please include your use case. That will help me answer the question accurately. Yes, Ahmad, that is a great laptop. The Flow X13 is awesome for video editing and some 3D modeling. Okay, Devish, Asus TUF A15 2021 Ryzen 9 and RTX 3060. I need it for After Effects, and I can use a monitor for color grading. Yes, that'll be great. After Effects will really like that. Make sure you get at least 16 or 32 gigs of RAM for After Effects. It is a RAM hog. If you get a lot of RAM, your After Effects will run smoothly. Ahmad, I want to use it for 3D modeling and some engineering. Yeah, that would be the X13. The Flow X13, Ahmad, would be great for 3D modeling. That 3060 is right in the sweet spot. 3070 is even better, but 3060 is in the sweet spot. What laptop would you recommend for an architecture student in a medium range budget? To me, medium range is anywhere from $1,300 to $1,700. Safari, sorry, I really struggle with you guys' names. Forgive me. Ma Derar. I'm so sorry. I've had to have butchered that. Architecture student on a budget around $1,300 to $1,700. I would recommend the Legion 5, the HP Victus, the HP Omen. or even the Legion 5 Pro from last year. Those would be my recommendations. Diony, is Zephyrus M16 with RTX 3060 sufficient for engineering, AutoCAD, SolidWorks, SketchUp, and graphic design like Illustrator and Photoshop? Yes, for everything but SolidWorks. SolidWorks may struggle a little bit. Let me check my benchmark charts here. Let's see. So SolidWorks, really the only laptops that you're going to get stellar performance are going to be laptops with Workstation GPUs. So really anything in the from 3080 to 3060 is going to be on the kind of average place for SolidWorks. It's not going to be bad by any stretch of the imagination. You'll be able to run it well, but if you start to do a lot of heavy lifting in SolidWorks, you may start to see a little bit of lag. So just keep that in mind. So that would be the one program. That's just the one program I say it might struggle. The rest of the programs, it'll do fine. Stan Animal, can you review the Acer Helios 300? If I can get one, I absolutely will. Thank you so much for the question. Joshan Sam, best laptop for Photoshop. Will be used for many layers, work, and photo manipulation, mid-class models. Okay. If you're doing a lot of photo manipulation, a lot of layers, a dedicated GPU would actually be helpful. I would say getting something like the Apple MacBook Pro 14 would be awesome. Or something like the Legion 7 Slim, or an Asus Zephyrus M16, or a Legion 5. Any of these laptops would be really great for Photoshop. But if you're wanting like a thin and light laptop, the MacBook Pro will be a good pick. If you're wanting a thin and light laptop for Windows, I would look at the Samsung Galaxy Book 2 Pro 360, the Lenovo Yoga 9i Gen 7. That would be really good as well. That i7-1260p is a fantastic new processor from Intel. How stable is the 6700S and the G14? Also, did you experience any quality control issues with your unit? The only issue I experienced with my unit was the power button on my unit was a little sticky. That was the only thing I noticed. Everything else was great. And I pointed that out in my review of the M16. All right. Wildfire. I currently use the GT72S. Feels like a 40-inch body. I was looking for a new laptop. Lenovo 7i Slim. Space Station real estate. What are you using your laptop for, Wildfire? And then I could definitely give you some feedback and some recommendations. What do you think about Legion 7 Slim Gen 6 for students? It has good battery life when you go on iGPU mode. Has a great GPU if you're gaming and doing video editing and photo work. So I think it'd be a great laptop. Casper. Oh, man. Ahmad, I'm getting the ROG Flow X16 with Ryzen 9 and RTX 3070 Ti. That's a beast. Great find. I use DaVinci Resolve. Camera Chronicles says, I use DaVinci Resolve non-studio version in India. Prices are significantly higher compared to the US for the same models. Thanks a lot for answering my questions. Love your content. So glad I was helpful. Camera Chronicles, thank you for the comment. Wildfire, I want a 12700 and a 3060 combo for light gaming, but mostly productivity and great screen. Only thing is with the M16 is that it concerns me is the battery life and 8 gigs soldered RAM. Well, for gaming, the RAM doesn't matter. For productivity, the RAM would matter a little bit, but you could easily grab a 32 gig stick matched with an 8 and you got 40 gigs of RAM. So I wouldn't be too concerned about the RAM issue. That's easily swappable. Now the battery life, that's because of the i7-12700. So your preference for Intel is why your battery life's getting eaten up. So that's where I would consider the G15 just based on wanting better battery life, because then you'll get that Ryzen 9 6900 or 5900 HS, which gets better battery life. Oh crap, just jumped down again. Oh, man. We've got spam. Sorry, guys. Let's see if I can get rid of all this spam. There we go. All right. Spam out of here. Sorry about that. Okay. Stanimal. I just saw that my 3070 Ti laptop has GDDR6. What's the difference? I mean, just the latest launch. There's not, I mean, it's just going to be a newer version. Off the top of my head, I can't have an exact definition. If you just Google GDDR6X versus GDDR6, you will find, I'm sure, a very easy and quick definition for the differences between that. I just can't guarantee I can find it, so I don't want to spend too much time doing that. Can you go on Canada Best Buy for my request? Because Canada has different laptops. What was your request, Felix? I don't see your original question. Okay. Gotcha. Best Buy Canada, 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 Canada. Get out of the way, phone. Best Buy Canada. G14. So Asus Zephyrus G14. All right. Best Buy Canada, Asus Zephyrus G14. Here we come. Diablo, definitely let me know your use case. I see you keep posting that question. If I don't know your use case, it's really hard for me to say if it's a good buy or not. So that would be super helpful. Thank you. All right. Wow, you do have different ones. So Felix, I'm not sure your price point, but I would say if I were going to pick one of these, I would go... I'm trying to find the one I want. I would go G14, 6900HS with the RX 6700S. Now, if your budget doesn't allow, I would go for the 6800HS with the RX 6700S. So that's what I would do. You got a nice sale. I wouldn't do yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah, don't get that GTX 1650. That'll not serve you well. All right, Wildfire. For the build, performance, and price point, there's nobody doing it like Asus right now. Razer, Dell, and Apple are all €1,000 more for the same internals. Absolutely, Wildfire. I totally agree. Asus has been like killing it. I'm super encouraged by them and how much value they're bringing to consumers. Okay, next up, moving forward here. Mishra, I was looking for an HP Envy for simple productivity work, some light coding, something with a dedicated GPU. I don't want gaming. I don't want a gaming laptop. Yeah, the HP Envy is a good choice because it's one of those laptops that isn't a gaming laptop. HP Envy 16 RTX 3060. I think I should be able to find one on HP's website here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Yeah, this would be a great choice. I'm not sure of your budget. Let me click over here. I'm not sure of your budget, but yeah, this would be a great choice. It's around $1,500. It comes with an RTX 3060 and has an i7 processor. So not bad at all. That would definitely be a great pick there. I'm not sure where you're located, but if you can get that where you're located, that would be a good pick for sure. All right. Sri Rajan NC. Okay, I just see there's an NC on your name, so I'm addressing you now. Well, which is the best mid-range around $1,000 laptop with sRGB 100% for graphic design, Photoshop, bit of video, and 3D rendering? With 100% sRGB and you want 3D rendering, your hope is going to be in the Acer Swift X. Has a dedicated GPU, and it has 100% sRGB. Other than that, there's not a lot of options, to be totally honest. So everything else is more expensive, and especially that you threw in 3D rendering on me. If you didn't, I could have found you a lot of different stuff. But you need that dedicated GPU for the 3D rendering. Javier, how important is a 16:10 aspect ratio? Because I'm about to buy a Legion 5 Pro, but it seems very heavy. I've considered the last Gen 7 Slim, but it has a 16:9. Okay, here's my thought process on 16:10 aspect ratio. If you're going to go for a smaller than 15-inch screen, I think it really matters because the screens get so scrunched. Like I have this Yoga in front of me. It has a 16:9, and I always feel like I'm like scrunched in the screen. So that is where 16:10 really makes a difference. Now, if you are getting a 15-inch screen or above, I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Like I have an old MacBook Pro here, and it does totally fine. It's a 15-inch screen, 16 by 9 aspect ratio with a massive bezel, and it's big enough. It's totally fine. So I would go for the 11 Slim if you don't want that thick, chunky gaming laptop. That'd be my recommendation. All right, between the MSI Creator Z16, this is between the MSI Creator Z16 and the MSI Stealth GS66, which would you pick? I'd pick the GS66. It just has better power, and I really wasn't impressed with the Z16 lineup, so I would go for the Stealth. My country, India. All right, so we're coming up on the hour here, so I'm going to probably butt out. Well, not coming off. We've just passed the hour. So I'm going to butt out here in a few minutes, but I'm going to try and answer a few last questions and keep going. And then I got to jump off, and I'm going to try and jump on again next week. If I keep these short, I can do them on a weekly basis. If they get too long, I'll be overwhelmed and won't be able to do them. So I'm going to keep them short as I can, but around the hour point. In my country, India, the Legion 5i Pro only comes with a 3060 GPU, but the 5i is customizable, and I've customized it with 3070 Ti. Yeah, if you're doing some 3D modeling and 3D character art, the 3070 Ti would be very helpful for you, so definitely go for that. Asus laptops on my budget. All right, so we're going to go to India's website, Amazon India, and jump over here, check out the Asus TUF A15. I think you said you were around. That's too expensive. Man, that would be amazing if your budget could come up just a little bit. Oh, that would be so good. That's such a powerful laptop, but it sucks. It's out of your budget. All right, so we're looking for around, I think you said 85,000 rupees. Trying to find one that I like. Man, not a lot to choose from. At 99,000 rupees, you got a killer one, but I mean, I don't know how much more that would be USD going from 85 to 99. I'm sure that's a lot more, so I don't want to be disrespectful and say like you can make that jump because I don't know your circumstances, but man, if I were you, I would look for the RTX 3060 and the 4800H if they make that combo, but I'm not seeing it here. So it looks like your best bet's going to be around this one here, this RTX 3050 with the Ryzen 7 4800H. It's just for your price point, that's going to be where your best going to be found, unfortunately. I don't have Instagram, so sorry, I'm only on YouTube. I don't do social media, or I don't even have an iPhone. I've got this dumb life, not dumb. I love this thing. I've got a dumb phone, so I don't like social. I don't like any of the stuff like that. So you won't be able to find me anywhere, unfortunately, except YouTube. All right. Alpha Samarno bought the Rogue Strix on sale. Saved $650. Yeah, that's a great find. Alpha, you did awesome. Good one. What is the best, GTX or RX? If you're going to go GTX versus RX, I would go RX because it's newer and, well, it depends on which one you're saying. I'm a master computer science student and a beginner YouTube vlogger. Which should I buy? Legion 7 Slim Gen 7 or Legion 7 Slim I would go Slim 7. Save yourself $1,000, especially if you're getting your master's. That's expensive. I have my master's, and luckily I got to work and didn't go through a work program, but otherwise it would have been ridiculously expensive. So I would save as much money as you can. Wildfire, how much of a difference does matching dual channel RAM make for After Effects and general use cases? So 16 gigs of RAM in each slot instead of 8 gigs in one and 16 in the other. Not a huge difference. So whenever I've benchmarked like the G14 and the one's soldered and the other isn't, I can only swap the one. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. You want to try and match the timings. So if you find out the timing on the soldered one, you can find that in your system preferences. If you don't know how to do that, just Google how to find timing of RAM inside of laptop or something like that. And then just kind of try and match those timings. Thank you for your reply from Devish. Now I can buy the Asus TUF A15 without any other thoughts. So glad that was helpful. Thank you so much. How are you, man? I'm doing good, Lovo. How are you? All right, I'm trying to finish up here. I just don't want to make sure I miss any before I jump off. I got to jump no more than 15 minutes. Can you go on the Canadian Best Buy? Yes, I did. And I hope that was helpful. Oh, it just jumped me down. Sorry, guys. Drives me crazy. Oh, come on. It like kicks me down. There we go. Jack the Rabbit. Jack the Rabbit, if you want me to give a recommendation, please let me know your use case. Joey Greenwood, HP Omen with 11th gen Intel 3070 or 12th gen Intel with 3060. I edit photos, video, audio, and play games as well. 3070 is going to be more of a benefit going from Intel 11th to 12th gen. That's what I've noticed. So that's what I recommend. Yeah, Sika, that Yoga 9 with the 1260p, that's a great buy. A little on the pricey side, but I think it's because of the 1 terabyte and 16 gigs of RAM, but I think it'd still be good. I've not received a Dell G15 unit. I've tried to work with Dell. They don't really work well with smaller influencers. So what do you think about the Lenovo Legion 5, last year's model? Oh, last year, the Lenovo Legion 5 is a killer across the board. It has benchmarks on par with so many of the models this year. Totally go for it. Is it more cheap to ship to Canada or America, to the Philippines? I don't know. When you check out, your cart should tell you. So that's how I would approach that. I'm not sure about the shipping internationally. Felix, around $1,600. Is the G14 2021 still okay for school and gaming? RTX 3050 Ti. I'm not a gaming channel, nor do I game, so I really can't give a recommendation for the 3050 Ti for gaming. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I wish I could. All right. Okay, working on my way through here. All right, Omen versus Victus versus NB, which has better battery life and build quality? Now, excuse me, from a build quality perspective, I would say that NV has the best build quality. From a battery life perspective, I can't remember what battery life the HP Envy I tested got, but I can check real quick. HP Envy 15, I think it was. Yeah, they're about the same battery life. So I would just go based on build quality because they're all about the same for battery life. It got about 8 hours for productivity and streaming battery life, like streaming video. One of the main draws to the M16 for me, besides the internals, is the screen. Your opinion, what are the top 5 screens on laptops right now? Asus ProArt Studio Book. M16 is really good. MacBook Pro screens are awesome, as always. Oh, goodness. Gigabyte. The Gigabyte Aero screen's really good. It's really sharp, really clean. I think what else is in my studio right now that I really liked. The Legion series is good. It's nice and bright. So those are really, if it's a good laptop, it's going to have a good screen. If it's a bad laptop, it's going to have a bad screen. Which one is better for 3D modeling and rendering, HP Omen or HP Predator 300, both 3060? I personally prefer the HP Omen, just from a build quality standpoint, but from a performance standpoint, they're going to be very similar. What are your thoughts on the new Acer Swift X 2022? I've got one right here. So far, I've tested it with the i7 1260p. I'm working through benchmarks now. 3D modeling, I thought it would do better. It didn't do as well at 3D modeling than I had hoped. But I have yet to test Photoshop, After Effects, or Premiere Pro. So honestly, I hate to say it, but I don't know yet. I don't know. Hopefully by the end of this, beginning of next week. Okay. All right, so editor fade. There we go. Sorry, guys. Where'd my mouse go? Come back to me. There we go. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Big question. Okay, editor's dream. I have a commercial video maker. I use the A7S or the A7 III. What laptop should I edit, Lenovo or Dell? I was thinking the Lenovo 7i Pro. Lenovo 7i Pro would be good if you're shooting A7S III. That's really thick heavy chunky codec, I would definitely get the RTX 3070 Ti if you can. I really wouldn't go 3060. 3070 Ti will give you that big bump in performance. I have a 16 by 10 laptop. How do I connect that to a 19 by 20 screen or ultra wide? Will be distorted. It can be distorted. Sometimes what it does is it zooms your screen, or it zooms the screen on your laptop, or it zooms the screen that you're displaying to. I don't anticipate that it would be distorted. It would just zoom it in. So that might be just something you have to work with. All right, which laptop would be better for graphic design? Asked Steven. Legion 5i Pro or Zephyrus M16, G14. All will be good. I would recommend for After Effects that you have at least 16 gigs of RAM in your laptop. That would be the big thing. All right. Okay, yeah, Felix, the stream will still be up when it's over. All right, I have to finish up. I have to jump off here in just a minute. Let me see if there's any last questions. Let's see. All right. All right, I'm going to hit these last questions here. Can you make sure that after, thanks for questions. I don't know if you know how, but can you make sure you still watch? All right. MacBook Pro 15 for CAD. No, I would not use the MacBook Pro 2015 for CAD. Unless you already own it, then you can definitely try. But yeah, I would not use that for CAD. It's just going to be way underpowered. All right. 2022 M16, color accurate as the QHD panel of 2022. Yeah, they're going to be both color accurate, both behind, both 2021 and 2022 and the M16 are going to have that 100% sRGB. So I hope that is helpful to you. All right, y'all. I know some questions didn't get answered. I'm terribly sorry. The questions just flood in so fast, and I answer as many as I can in the time. I've been on over an hour. I try to keep these to an hour just because I want to start to do them on a consistent basis. So I'm sorry that if I missed your questions. But tune in next Thursday. My goal is to be on at 9:30 Central Time, and I look forward to seeing more of y'all there. Sorry, I kind of just like left it on that random screen. But anyway, live streams are kind of hard when you're trying to run it as a singular person. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys here on the next video. Post some comments or questions and let me know for the next live stream what you want to know more about. We can even jump into some more technical stuff if you don't just simply want laptop recommendations. You'll have an awesome day. I will see you later.